Folks, welcome back to Beer and Business. Today is Thursday, October 17th. This is Jake.
And this is Darren.
And today on the show, we've got Vivia Collins, who is going to drop an amazing amount of inspiration on us. And I'm excited to talk to Vivia because she is a survivor. She has come to this studio against all odds, and she is going to wow us with a story that I just can't wait to hear. But before we get into that, I know that's a lot of buildup. We have to drink some beer.
Oh, yeah. And we got a good one today.
Today we are drinking Federale. It's a Mexican-style beer. And Vivia, I know you don't drink beer,
No,
but trust me, this is delicious. It's so beautiful outside that this is a really good sitting outside type of beer. So it's like Corona, except it tastes good.
And you don't need a lime.
You don't have to cut it with a lime. Yeah. So this is a very good beer. So, we probably should be recording outside, but we're not. So
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, there is one quick thing about this beer that you were telling me about.
Yeah.
That makes it, isn't this the one? Yeah, this is the Federale.
Yeah.
They don't really talk about, but your wife did because she can drink this.
She can drink this. Yeah, my wife has celiac disease and she can have gluten. But this beer is crafted to remove gluten. And it's not marketed that way, but she's true celiac and she can drink this no problem. So she's super stoked when we go to Jailhouse because she can actually drink beer. Most breweries have zero options for her and it's just, totally a drag. But, she can go have a beer at Jailhouse. So, if you have gluten issues, go to Jailhouse in Hampton, drink a Federale.
There you go.
It's delicious. So, Vivia, I'm really excited to have you on the show. I met you at one of our events.
Yes.
And found out that you've got a really inspiring story that we wanted to talk about today. So tell us, when did you first find out you had cancer?
I was 19 years old. I was completing my bachelor's in New York. And my cousin and I were playing. She was about 3-4 years old, and I did not like her.
Well, and that's for
I probably
another
shouldn't
interview.
say that.
Oh, goodness.
But she hit me with a brush on my arm. And so, you're playing still. And the next thing I know, I picked up my hand to hit her and it would not move. And so when I looked down, it was like 3 times the size of my other hand. And my mom, immediately, I just said, "Mom, she broke my hand." So, I'm 19. I should probably not have said that. But they all rushed in. And they said, "Okay, let's go to the hospital." Once we got to the hospital, they said, "It's not broken. It's worse." And so I was like, okay. And they asked my mom if I could sit outside the room. And I was like, all right, fine. I would, because what else could it be? What else? I wasn't thinking anything apart from sickle cell, which they had diagnosed me with in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. So all I heard my mom said was, "Jesus." And I was like, okay, gotta be worse. And all I could hear the doctor say is, "Take her home and make her comfy." I'm like, now, a broken arm.
Where's my cast?
You
Right.
see what I'm saying? And my mom just came out and she just hugged me. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. My mom just had her arm around me. We were in, at the time, it was my aunt's little minivan. And they were just, you're driving and the person is turning around looking at you. You're like, okay, what's wrong? And
So you're 19 years old?
I'm 19. Yeah, but I weighed 65 pounds.
Wow.
And I just thought, you're slim and you're trim and you're nice, you're sexy,
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't
it's
know.
something that Darren and I don't really know much about anymore.
Anymore. But got to the house and I heard the whispers. And so, my little nosy cousin, I was like, go listen. And she came back and she said, "You're dying."
Oh, really?
And I said, "No, man, be honest." And she said, "You're dying." And so I walked to my mom's room and I said, "Mommy, what is going on?" And she said, "You have leukemia. You have cancer. And we caught it too late and all you have is 2 weeks."
What?
Yes, 2 weeks.
Oh, boy.
I was like, so I'm not going to be the doctor. I am not going to be, and so I just drop on the carpet. And I was like, all right, so what do I give away? Do I give away my underwear? Do I, and I was thinking so many things, but then I'm in college. So I'm like, who do I call? And mommy was like, we're going to have people come to the house. And so all of a sudden, every day, 10, 15 people. And it's the worst thing. I can tell you this, for a bunch of Jamaicans to come around you and they just sit down and they rub your face, or they call you to sit on their lap and they say, oh, it's going to be okay. No, it is not. You're in your 50s, 60s. I am 19 and I am dying. And the next thing I know, the day that I'm supposed to, should I keep?
Well, I'm so shocked at how this all went down. First of all, they didn't tell you at the hospital.
They did not. He did not. So I forgot to tell you. They ran the test and the nurse came in, Jamaican lady or somebody from the Caribbean, and she just pat my forehead. I'm like, why Jamaican people love to touch you So I said, Mommy, what is it? And she just touched my forehead and she go into the doctor's office and give it to the doctor. And the doctor said, you need to sit outside, young lady. And that's when I heard Mommy say, Jesus. And that was it.
So you get home and your mom tells you have 2 weeks to live.
Yes.
I mean, how do you process something like that? 19 years old. So
I have a picture, I didn't bring it, where I probably can't say this. I was in my underwear and I just started singing, I'm dying. And my aunt, she came to the door and she just had the tears. And I'm saying, well, listen, we're just going to have to make the most of this thing. If I'm dying, I mean, what the worst could happen?
Were you taking it seriously or were you kind of in denial?
I think that's when something went off in my head. Uh-huh. It's like, you only have 14 days. And I mean, the doctor was so good to give me the full 14. Yeah.
Oh, he was the one who doled out the specific days? Is that what it was?
Days, yeah.
So he could have given you 13 days or 15,
exactly.
but he gave you 14. Just round it off to an even 2 weeks. Why not?
Wow. Okay, so
you're still here today. So, right, so obviously...
You didn't die in 2 weeks.
No.
He gave you the wrong prescription for death at that time. That's what he did.
Well, so this is what happened. And when I tell this part, this is the part I get very nervous about, because this is where people don't believe that because I'm a Christian, my parents, they were praying, and our pastor said, I believe if she drinks this olive oil, she's going to be healed. Now, being 19, and I'm this little 19, I'm not tall 19, I'm short 19, and I just look, I mean, when I take a shower, water would sit inside my neck right here, and you'll have to just scoop it out and all of that. But I'm standing there in church and he said, drink. And I said, dude, I'm not drinking that. It tastes like castor oil anyway. I'm not drinking that, And he said, drink, you're going to live. And I turned and I looked at my mom, everybody was standing at the altar. And I said, if I don't live, I'ma kill you. That's what I'm thinking on the inside,
I'm going to choke to death on this stuff. That's what's going to kill me.
If I don't live, because this is the last day. This is the last day. I mean, the entire church, they were praying. I mean, I guess my aunt called our bishop at the time and everybody's praying.
So this was day 14.
This was day 14. And I was very weak. The truth is, I think I had 2 elders. They were holding my arm. I was really weak. And I guess that day my mom had given me a bath and everything. It was really bad, man. It was really, really bad. And I drank it. And the ambulance, I know the ambulance came because then I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe after a while. And you could hear the crying, but then I'm going in and out. And by the time I get to the hospital, I don't know.
You were good. So 2 weeks before that.
Wait a minute, hold on. Were you cured?
Okay, so now I'm in the hospital. Oh, okay, Darren, I'm going to get to you. So I'm in the hospital and they come over. Everybody's around the bed. Everybody, because now you have the wires, you have, the need, you have everything going on. And my mom, she's just sitting there just rocking. And I'm like, Jesus, what is happening? And the nurse came in and she's like, we got to talk to you, Mom. And the doctor came and he said, give me her chart. He's looking at it. And he's like, okay, where's the patient? This is the truth enough. That's what I don't like. I know I was so nervous, Jake, because the documents are there. The proof is there. But when I'm saying it, I just get so nervous because I'm saying science cannot explain what just happened. So the doctor is saying, bring in the right paperwork. And they're saying, this is it. We just ran the test, the blood test. There's no cancer.
None.
There's none.
Gone.
It's gone. So what was happening was sickle cell traits again.
Wow.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I'm going to start drinking olive oil. Forget this. We're changing this to the.
Was it extra virgin? Was it, I need to know what it was.
I don't even know. The ones, I guess, when they put on your forehead, yeah.
Well, the question is 2 weeks before that, you're fighting with your cousin.
Yeah.
You get whacked on the arm. You were completely healthy at that point.
No, I was still.
Were you wearing down?
Yeah, I was, because now I'm 65 pounds and I'm 19. Yeah. So they're saying, okay, something is wrong.
So you were wilting away.
Yes.
And then that's when
you
were diagnosed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So you leave the hospital and you're what? You start feeling better immediately?
Yeah. Well, no. Then the pains, the joint pain, the pains. And so they're like, now we have to do blood transfusion. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? So the truth, this is what they're seeing. They're seeing the sickle cell, which is also in my family.
So you got rid of one cancer and you got another?
I got sickle cell. Yeah. Wow.
So you're 19 still, and now you've been diagnosed with your second form of cancer, sickle cell.
So, well, they said when the cell is sickled, it's not cancer. It's more like your joints are achy. That's what they're saying. What they're saying. So they're like, you're not going to die, but you're going to have moments of crisis.
Okay.
And so from what I know, one of my aunts, she has 7 kids, and the first child has it, the second doesn't, the third has it, the fourth doesn't. And so they're like, okay, you have it? How? But yeah.
Wow. Okay. So how did that, this was a process. You get out of the hospital, you find out you have sickle cell, you're still not feeling great. So were you pretty sick at this point in your life?
I still went to college. I still went to school, which I went to Monroe College in New Rochelle. And I was like, Mom, because my parents are totally against living on campus. So their thing is,
sorry, I'm fixing your microphone. You hit it.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we're totally far away. We're in Queens and you have me going all the way to New Rochelle.
Right.
And I still wasn't feeling all that great. So every now and then my friends who would drive, they would take me up to school. So, yeah.
So how long did this go on? Well,
after about 6 to 7 months, I started feeling much better. Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you've been sick multiple times, right?
Multiple times, yes.
So when did this rear its head the next time?
That was 2005.
2005.
2005.
I got to pause for 1 minute. On front, you guys keep going. I got to find out what's going on.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes. 2005. Where was I? I was in my house. I was walking around my bed and I fell. And I was spreading the bed with hubby, and I felt it was a Saturday morning. I remember clearly because it's a bright Saturday morning. You're open your windows. You're ready to tackle the day, and I felt a sharp pain in my lower back, and I fell. And the doctors, hubby rushed me to the hospital, and they said, "We're catching it too late." Now, I guess what's the stage 4? I'm paralyzed. There's a major hole on my spine, and the doctors are like, she'll never walk. Actually, she's never walked. Those were their words.
Okay, so so in 2005, now you're married.
I'm married 1 year.
And I don't know how old you are, and I'm not going to ask.
Okay.
But this is later in life, right? So you were 19. This was a long time ago. Then fast forward to 2005. You go into a hospital with a back pain, and they tell you you've got a hole in your spine and some form of cancer?
Yes, leukemia again.
Leukemia again.
Yes.
So it's back.
Yes, it's back.
And it put a hole in your spine. And they're telling you you're not going to walk again.
Well, this is what the doctor actually said. The X-ray came back, and she turned off the lights, looking something like that. And she used, because now she's thinking that I'm crazy. She's like, listen, I don't know how you're feeling pains, but it's not possible. You can't feel anything from your waist down. And I'm like, Doc, I walked this morning. And even hubby was like, she walked. She's been walking. She said, what I'm seeing is a birth defect. And all this is showing us is that this hole right here means she has never walked a day in her life.
So what were you doing? Just floating around?
I guess,
that what it was?
I guess.
You want me to get up out of the bed and walk right now, lady? Because I'll do it.
I want to walk right over there and kick your ass if you can.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you've got this issue with your spine, but they also find that the leukemia is back.
Yeah.
And they said it's too late.
They said it's too late again.
So did they give you a time frame again?
No, actually, they wanted to take me upstairs.
Oh, where the smart doctors are.
Yeah. But she can't walk. I mean, she can't walk.
So now they have me, they're moving me. So can I say this? They had catheters in me all over. Yeah. So, so every minute the bags are getting, they're like, okay, what's happening? The bag shouldn't be filling up that much. And the nurse came in and she did what she did, and I felt it. She's like, that's not possible. And so the nurse called the doctor, and she ran the scapula, the bottom of my foot. I couldn't feel it. She ran it on my leg. I can't feel it. But you touch my waist, I can feel it. And they said, okay, let's get her into the MRI. Let's do something fast. And as they're taking me, I am moving. And they're like, you're moving, but we see your foot turning in the chair. I'm like, I am not moving it, but I'm feeling it. And yeah, it's just been.
Wow.
Are you looking at me in amazement?
No, I mean,
this is just like I'm crazy.
No, not at all. I'm just amazed by the story. So
yes.
So you get in there and they do MRIs and they try to figure out kind of where you're at. Mm-hmm. What did they tell you? Did they tell you that you've got a short period of time to live?
Yeah, they basically this time it was stage 4. Mm-hmm. So they're like, really, there's nothing. You can stay. We can give you morphine or whatever it is that we need to do because you're feeling the pain, which we can't understand. We don't know why you're feeling pain. We don't know how you're feeling pain. So they're thinking, could it be memory? But if I've never walked, then how memory? How can I feel something that I've never felt before? So they gave me about a month. That time was a month.
This is a new prescription for death. Here we go.
So they didn't, based on what they saw, they didn't think that you ever could have walked. But of course, you've been walking your whole life. Uh-huh. But even crazier than that, you were having these situations where you couldn't move your feet, but you could feel them.
I could feel them. Mm-hmm.
But clearly very sick.
Yes.
And they just wanted to make you comfortable at that point. There was no treatment options. There was no chemotherapy. It was just... No. Sorry, you're too far gone.
You're too far. Yeah, because then that would be expensive because now you're talking about the chemo, which at the same time my dad in Jamaica was diagnosed with leukemia, which it runs on my dad's side. So we have had multiple people that have family members that have died. Yeah. So
at this point, you're a little older, more mature. Mm-hmm. You're a newlywed, 1 year into marriage, and now you get this death sentence.
Yes.
Probably hit you a little harder this time, huh?
It did, because now I also inherited 2 stepchildren. And I'm thinking, dang, it takes a while for kids to warm up to you, and you're just in your year 1. And I'm saying, well, at least somebody else would take this on. But I know it sounds cruel, but that's it. That's the truth, because they were giving me a hard time, and I was like, they probably want me to die anyway, But for hubby, it was when I saw how his cousin wife had recently died, and she had twin girls, and it was like, okay, they're still reeling from that. Now they have this to deal with. So I'm like,
now, was your husband in the room when you found out, when they told you?
Yes, he was.
How did he react?
He just slumped down in the chair, and he was like, all right, here we go again. And they're like, here we go again? So, yeah.
He had obviously known that at one point in your life you had been diagnosed with leukemia.
Yes. My family sat him down before and said, listen, this is something that runs on the dad's side, so it may potentially come back. So we just want you to be aware you don't have to be with her. And he's like, whether 5 minutes, 50 years, or 5 days, I'll stay.
Oh,
Aw.
good for him.
But she wouldn't let him in the podcast studio.
Oh my gosh, there is.
He's literally outside the podcast studio drinking a jailhouse beer.
You guys are something. I just get very nervous.
No, you're doing great. So were you more worried about him and the kids than you were yourself?
Yes, because now I was like, well, at least I got 30 days. That's how I looked at it. I have 30 days. Probably he could go talk back to his ex, No, not the ex, the girlfriend, not the ex-wife. I know, I'm just telling it all out.
That's so nice of you to start. I'm going to be dying, so let me help find you.
Yeah, and so his background, he's from Brooklyn. He's a New Yorker, so get you probably an American girl this time. I don't know.
Oh,
I honestly, once again, it's more like, here we go again.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that all of us, it's one of our deepest fears is to get that prognosis that you're sick and you've got a very short period of time to live.
Yeah.
And it happened to you. And in retrospect, did you react in a way you thought you would have? Or is it almost like you kind of get into a different state of mind and you start thinking about things you wouldn't think you were going to?
I think it's because I kept arguing with the doctor and the nurse about walking, that even if you're telling me I'm dying, I'm like, but I'm telling you I walked. And it's like the back and forth. And then the psychiatrist came in the room and the social worker. And I just felt overwhelmed. I didn't even have time to think about dying. I'm like, I walked. So let's deal with the hole in the spine. And you're saying, but that's what is causing you not to walk, and you're, on the cancer and everything. So no. And once again, I just felt like something else went just a little off again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So to be honest, I have been breaking from then. Yeah, we still have 2 more times to go. So
just stop at the grocery store and pick up another bottle of olive oil. And
no, not this time.
Not this time.
Once again, you're given a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling you you're not going to walk anymore. That really you shouldn't have never walked, but you're done walking.
Yeah. But
you walked into the studio today.
I did.
So what happened?
So when they rushed me again, because now she ran it on I remember my the bottom of my left foot, and I felt it. And they said, okay, let's get her back in. I am in the wheelchair, and all we could hear is like snap, crackle, pop, like somebody popping popcorn. And I'm screaming, and I'm telling you, this happened in Piedmont Fayette. I still have documents and everything. It's files. And I'm screaming, and I am moving, and then you could hear the person over the intercom, whoever have their radio on in the lounge, you need to turn off your radio. You're, whoever's popping, whatever. I am telling you, I was popping. It was, you could hear it, and they did it. And on the x-ray, you saw little lines.
Your body. So it was
little lines where the space.
Electrical impulses were popping like that?
No, it is what I call the miraculous working of God again.
So was it popping like you pop a knuckle or something like that?
It sounded like this.
Like that.
Yeah. And but I'm feeling it. And I could say, I'm feeling it. And she's like, impossible. And they're holding me down, and they asked hubby, they're like, can you hold her? They said, we know we're not supposed to have anybody in there, but if you keep moving, and I'm saying, I'm feeling it. Something is happening.
Was this in the MRI?
Yeah.
So something was obviously reacting to the magnets or whatever in the MRI.
God is her chiropractor.
That's it.
Straightened her back out.
That is really, really wild.
So we did about 6, and each time you could see little lines.
Holy cow.
Little lines coming down, and she's like, what is this? And she compared it again to the first one where there was just this big hole, and now you can see, and I'm sorry, and now you can see like something is attaching. Yeah.
Things are connected. So she was popping and locking right there.
She was.
I was pop locking.
So were you able to walk after that?
It took me, I still couldn't walk for about a month.
But did something change on that table? Like all of a sudden,
Yes.
did you have your feeling back?
Not in my left altogether, but in my right, I could move it. I could move my right leg.
What were the doctors saying?
She said to me, I am not sure what just happened, but whoever you serve, keep serving him. The nurse, she apologized because when she inserted the catheter, she was upset with me. Like, I'm telling her, I can feel it. Could you take your time? She's like, no, you can't. And so she apologized to me. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so a month later, you start walking. What about the leukemia? What happened?
They said they just don't know.
Disappeared again?
No. This is what. So now I have to get the chemo. I'm actually doing chemo now, but it's more like it's a needle.
Yep.
And you get it inserted in here, and they, once a month. That was the one time I got it.
So you got chemo one time.
One time.
But I thought that they just wanted to keep you comfortable. So did they decide that after a month, like, wow, she's still kicking, let's try giving her some...
That's when, yes. And so they sent me to Center of Hope in Stockbridge.
That's crazy. So you get one round of chemo and all of a sudden, bink, it's gone?
They said it wasn't gone.
Remission?
But it wasn't, it was not, it just wasn't active. Yeah.
So then, cancer is no longer active. You start feeling good again, and life is normal.
Yes, up until 2008.
So what happened in 2008?
2008, it came back fully.
Came back again.
Yes, but this time I had...
You're good.
You're good. Okay. This time I literally, I was given this 2 weeks.
Now we're back to 2 weeks.
Yes, now we're back at 2 weeks.
What happened then? What did...
Center of Hope, I just check in every now and then. This is 2008. And they said...
So you just went in for a normal checkup?
Normal checkup.
You were feeling fine?
Yes. And they said, your white blood cells, they are really active. They're too much. Something is happening here. So they ran the tests. They sent me to Southern Regional in Riverdale. And they sent me right away back to Center of Hope. And they said, it's too late.
So for the 3 years you went back, how often did you go in? Because they check your markers every so often. So
thanks.
You're welcome. Well, my stepmom had...
Okay. So they would ask me to come in. First, I was going every other day.
Right.
And of course, once they saw that I was normal and out, as they said, then they said every month. And then they say every 3 months. Then they said every 6 months. Yeah.
And then you went in, your markers went off the charts.
Yes,
on
I
your
just
white blood cell
wasn't.
count.
Yeah, I started feeling pains, but I went to my regular doctor at the time, Blue Cross Blue Shields. Went to my regular doctor, and he wasn't liking how I was feeling. The clinic, and it wasn't liking how I was feeling, and they sent me right over to Southern Regional, and she said, "Who's your cancer?" Or who's your specialist? And I said, Center of Hope. And she said, you need to go back there.
So you went back, they gave you 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yes.
And once again, it's what, we just want to make you comfortable.
This time, they knew me. And so their thing was, they kept it real. They're like, you're dying. We just don't know how. It's too far gone. You're gone.
Did your family come in and start patting you on the head and on the cheek again?
No.
Kept them away this time?
By this time, my dad is here in the States.
Yeah.
My mom, my brother kept it from her. And so it was just me and hubby and my brother just really fighting it here.
Now, what do you do? What'd you do for those 2 weeks? I mean, do you just kind of go, all right, I'm just going to sit here and wait. I might as well binge watch something that I haven't watched.
So you remember when I said that from the first time things were cracking just a bit?
Mm-hmm.
That was when I think it just cracked. I can't recall. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't. They had to monitor me. I completely lost it. Hubby would be on the highway and I would open the door.
You were just done.
I was done. I was done.
Opening
so
the
this
door
this time was different.
Just, yeah.
I want to walk through now.
Because around the same time, a couple of weeks before that, you've been trying to have a child, just trying, and they said the cancer has just done so much damage to your body, you can't have any kids. So now you feel worthless, and you feel like, what else? And I guess I probably should not have asked what else could go wrong.
Yeah, don't ask that question.
No.
We've all made that mistake.
What else can go right?
But I want to narrow in on something.
Yeah.
So this third time that you get this death sentence, you reacted differently. What was it that drove that different reaction in you?
This was where I just felt like I didn't have any more fight left in me. To be honest, Jake, I just didn't think I could fight again. I'm like, people are going to think I am crazy because one doctor, when we went in, he said, she's a quack. She said, she's crazy. There's no way. He said, science. So they did something with that chemo. They probably gave her the highest radiation. Mm-hmm. The time before, probably some marijuana. He's like, you probably went. I'm being honest. Yeah. So I just felt like it must have been something I did. Something, I don't know. I just lost it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Given a 2-week life sentence again.
Yeah. Life sentence.
And
death sentence.
Death sentence. Yeah, really. So 2 weeks you're given to live.
Yes.
And clearly that was in 2008. Once again, you've walked into the studio today. So what happened this time?
They sent me to New York. Well, hubby drove to New York. And we went to, I think, Montefiore or one of those hospitals. And same thing, the chemo in the belly.
So they gave you a round of chemo.
Mm-hmm.
Then what happened?
I can't remember.
You can't remember?
I can't remember.
But it wasn't like, you flipped the switch and you're better, but you clearly started feeling better at some point.
I did. I was in New York for about 5 months because now everybody has to monitor me. Mm-hmm. You can't leave me by myself.
Sure.
You can't tell me it's not coming back. You can't tell me I'm not dying. So even with the paperwork in front of me and it's showing you're clear, it's like everything stopped. Mm-hmm. They said the cancer is there. It's just stopped. They said it's there. You can see the mass. You see it all over because it's leukemia. So it's in the blood. They're like, it's there. It's just not doing anything.
So so how many rounds of chemo did you go through this time?
I remember it's once a month. So I was there for 5 to 6 months. So 6 months.
So maybe 5 or 6 rounds of chemo, and all of a sudden cancer just, goes into remission.
Yeah. But you can see it on the scans. It's right there.
Now,
but nothing.
You said you were, wanted to open the car door on the highway and stuff. Were you suicidal at this point?
I was. I got up one morning. No, that was the other day. That's another story. I would hear basically, you don't need to live. You don't need to be here. You're only causing pain. You're just, it's going to happen again. You're going to die. So it doesn't make any sense. You keep on trying to stay alive. So let's find ways. So this is where I started. Hubby would literally tie my wrist to his. So if I move in the bed, he would be awake. He would get awake because I would literally try to run from the bed, through the sitting room, through the bathroom window.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you go into New York, you get monitored.
Yeah, by my mom and my dad and my cousins.
So everybody's watching you. You're getting treatment, and all of a sudden, your cancer goes dormant.
Yeah.
And you start feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened to you through that process?
Well, I went back. I'm a clinical therapist. So I said, well, if I'm alive, let me just go back to, counseling others and telling them, listen, it's not worth just doing nothing. You got to get up out of your rut. But at the same time, I was still in my rut. Mm-hmm. I was still in the back of my mind. I could be driving one day and don't feel anything. I can't press the brake. I can't press the gas. I can't do anything. And I just...
Were you thinking like it's only a matter of time before this happens
before
again?
Before it happens again, yes.
So that nagging feeling stayed with you?
Yes. And then the fourth time.
And then the fourth time. So when was the fourth time?
The fourth time was in 2010.
So what happened then?
This was where honestly, when the doctor said, we don't know why it's active again. We don't know what is causing, because now I'm juicing, I'm healthy. And they're like, we don't know what has caused it once more. All we can say is you're either going to fight this or you're going to die. But I wasn't given a timetable.
So this one was different.
This one was different. We caught it, but it's really bad. It's leukemia. You can take off the breast, you can take this, but I'm like, if it's all over, well, I'm going to take off limbs. Right. I'm going to take everything. So they said, just do you. And no, I haven't done any chemo since then.
No chemo.
No chemo.
I get that though, because I know how well, I don't know personally, but other people say how bad it makes them feel. Yeah. And it's like, you're down for so long between each thing. And you basically have one good week, 1 week that you feel good. And then you go back for chemo and you're pretty much, you feel like shit for another 3 weeks and you have one good week.
Because they actually have some of them that sits in the chair for hours. So I opted just for the needle. Now it's the worst. The needle is like this long and the base is another. So they're not really close up on you when they're giving it to you.
Yeah, she's got her hands, her fingers about a foot apart, guys.
Yeah, that's a hell of a needle.
It's a big needle.
Yeah.
I'm going to have nightmares about that needle tonight.
And when they insert it and it's just coursing through your body, you can literally feel like everything, it's arresting your heart. And then they have your pressure cuff on and your pressure is just going.
Well, it's poison.
Well, they have to poison the poison in your body.
I mean, it's a serious deal.
It is.
Okay, so in 2010, your fourth diagnosis.
Yeah.
Were you feeling anything, or was it again just going into check?
Just going into check. Actually, what started happening, I started getting these spots, and I was like, after everything, I'm getting these little bumps, and they have this little pus-like thing on the top, and I'm saying, what are they? But then either you pop them or you don't pop them. They give you this large red circumference, and then it's like it's filled up with so much pus. Then you have to go to the I was about to say the dentist. You have to go to the doctor, and then they lance it, and it's all this thing that's coming out of it. And they're like, we don't know. We don't know what is happening. And at the same time, I'm going to Center of Hope. They're like, today your count is low. Oh, you're doing pretty good, but you're still low. So now yesterday, my pressure was 199 over 150.
Your blood pressure?
Yeah.
Wow.
And my heart beat, I can't remember, but they thought I was having a heart attack. And they're like, we're just so used to you.
So you get this diagnosis in 2010. Mm-hmm. Have you done any treatment? You haven't done chemo, but have you done any treatment for the cancer?
I drink carrot juice, cilantro, cilantro tastes so nasty.
Oh, I
But-
know, it's awful.
Turmeric.
Unless it's on a taco. But in a juice, no.
Yeah.
I had it in gin one time infused that way.
Yeah. Of course, Darren goes to
course.
gin.
Not
Yes.
So don't try that.
No,
Yeah,
I
don't do
won't.
that.
What else?
But
Carrot
it's
juice, cilantro?
carrot, cilantro, ginger, turmeric,
Oh yeah.
apples. Yeah,
All the
I'm
good
allergic to
stuff.
pineapples.
So it's a power juice. But is that all you've been doing?
Yeah, I drink that. Yeah, every day.
And that was, almost 10 years ago.
And I also give it to others. Yeah, who are going through.
Now, is your cancer still active?
They said no. They said it is there. The spot is still on my spine. Every now and then when I feel the pain, because then it causes my legs to have that jerk feeling, that jerky feeling. And so when I, the other day, hubby had to rush me because I couldn't feel my legs again. And they said, no, we think it's just the stress. Wow. Yeah. So it's there.
You're living with
It's
this
there.
day to day, and how do you? I mean, every day you get.
Yeah.
You guys are high energy. You really are, and we've been around you a few times, and you are an inspiration. But every day you have to. I mean, we all have to get up and make a choice on how we're going to take our day. And for you, that
Yeah. I can't sit down. As you see, I can't sit down. I'm constantly moving.
Yeah.
Because a hubby would say this, my parents say it, even my doctor says it. They're like, you're afraid of your nights. Because I'm afraid that when I go to sleep, I'm not going to get up in the mornings. So when you use your 24 hours, like you say, okay, I'm only using 12, I try to use up my entire 24.
That's
so
crazy.
I only got like 3 hours because I went to bed at 3, got up at 6. And I was like,
I thought she was going to say she was nervous to be on the podcast, and that's why she did this. Nope. That's
Nope.
not it. Okay.
No.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I guess you want to get every minute in that you can just in case.
Yeah.
So have you ever had those moments where you think, why me?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. Every day.
How do you deal with it?
I've had good days where I'm like, why me? Oh, because I'm awesome.
Because not everybody's strong enough to make it as far as you have.
Exactly. I try to build a can. I'm like, oh, I'm going to start this company. I'm going to try this. And then there are the days when I have to call my therapist, because those are the days when I say, today's the day. Today is the day that I am going to die, because those are the thoughts that are constantly there. Those are the thoughts that in the mornings, most times I wake up and I hear, good morning, worthless one. And so I'm like, I guess today's going to be that day.
Wow. I mean, I just can't imagine, what you've been through. I mean, first of all, everybody fears just getting that one diagnosis.
Yeah.
Everybody fears it. But for you, you've been dealing with this since you're 19.
Yes.
And I'm not going to guess your age.
I'm 40. I just celebrated my 40th.
Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I've learned you don't do this with women, okay?
It's fine. I mean,
Okay.
come on. Yeah, ask me.
Okay,
Anything.
so 21 years
Yes.
on and off you've been dealing with this monster.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I just find it fascinating that, first of all, you've beaten the odds so many times. You're, I mean, you could call it a medical anomaly, or you could call it your belief in God,
Yes.
but something's got you coming back.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. But here's what I'm really impressed with, because I wanted to have you on the show for a couple of reasons, but
Okay.
we'll get to that in a minute. You've dealt with this cancer and you've been a survivor, but what's crazy about your life is you have taken what you can, what's left, and you're giving it away. You own a nonprofit.
Yes.
You said that you're doing this juice and you're giving it to you talked to me once about giving these juices to other cancer
Survivors.
patients.
Mhm. And patients.
Where does this come from? You keep getting this, hey, you got 2 weeks to live, you got a month to live. And, rather
And I
than
even
being
wrote
out
a
there
song
just,
about it.
Newsflash.
yeah, and instead of out there living it up, you're serving others. Where's that come from?
Well, back home, I used to see what we call here the mentally ill. We call them in Jamaica mad people. And I've always said, I'm going to help the mad people. But coming to America, I realized, oh, not all mad people live on the streets. They live in homes. So then I want to help the mentally ill. I really want to help them. So once I got my degree, and after the second diagnosis, I was like, no, God has kept me for a reason. So what is it? Let's see how I can do this. So what I got it incorporated. I wrote my business plan. Oh God, that in itself was hard.
Yes, we know.
Yeah, well, I had to get help after, but I started just handing out clothes. Then I went to the thrift store and I started buying little cups and plates. I was like, no, it's better to go to Walmart. So I realized I could buy the plates and so on, because now we have people who they only get a fixed income. And I'm saying, and hubby would say over and over, honey, did you pay this bill? Yeah, I paid part of it, but I have to, Tom down the road did not eat. So I borrowed part of this bill money to go make sure he has some food and his light is on. And hubby was like, dude, you killing me with this. You're killing me. But I kept doing it. I just couldn't stop. It just kept me going. It really kept me going. And it just gave me this, I have to wake up and do it. If I don't do it, I just feel down.
Gives you good purpose each day.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if there was ever somebody that deserved to be taken care of, it's somebody that's been dealing with, cancer diagnosis after cancer diagnosis, but,
right.
You're still just wanting to take care of others. Yeah. And I think that that's amazing.
Yes. Thank you.
And, so you've got a nonprofit, right?
Yes, I do.
So if we have listeners that want to support your nonprofit, how could they find out about it?
It is peoplewithapurpose.com. I hope it's .com and not .org. If .com don't work, go to .org. It's People with a Purpose. I actually have a home for that we have assisted adults who live on the street. We help them if they're coming out of the hospital. Mm-hmm. We teach them skills. Well, I teach, it's just me and hubby. So we teach them skills. We help them to get to day programs, get their medication. And we also help them with clothing, and at the end of the day, if they can get back, get back to that place where they can become independent, then we help them find their own home.
Is that it?
It's .org.
It's .org.
Yeah.
.org.
So it's
People with a Purpose.
.org. See? Tell if .com don't work, org will work.
There it is.
Yeah.
So can people donate on your website, or are you looking for volunteerism? Like what do you need?
I need a home. I need a house. Can someone donate a house to me? I'm serious, Jake.
I know you're serious.
Yeah. I haven't. Yes, I've set up the where they can donate online.
Perfect.
But most people are not comfortable with it. So if you're comfortable with Cash App, then hit us up online.
Well, I think what you're doing is amazing. You're also starting a podcast, which I'm pretty excited about. So tell us about your podcast that you're starting.
All right. So it's called Spotted, Not Broken. It's basically spot on. And the spots that I'm talking about are the spots that I alluded to earlier when I was going through, the cancer scare or the cancer itself. And the pimples would come up on my skin. So I have them on my back. I have them on my arms, on my legs, all over. I try to keep myself covered. Not many people can see it, but also the spots that affect us. The depression, the anxiety, where I become suicidal. I have attempted suicide over 27 times.
Thank God you're not good at it.
Yeah, be really thankful you're not good at it. I mean, I think the Grim Reaper's given up on you already. I mean, you have pissed him off.
I've been trying and trying for years.
Yeah.
This close and then forget her.
Yeah.
He's left you alone.
Yeah. And so I wanted this podcast because it's like my video diary. And it's where I just go on and I just talk about the low self-esteem. I talk about the self-image. I have put on the weight because I have to have the weight on. I can't be skinny, fine, and sexy like I really want to be, because the lower my weight is, the more problems, for my blood and so on per the doctor.
Well, don't feel bad because Darren and I don't even have an excuse.
No.
What, Darren? You look trim and nice. What are you talking about? But so I started Spot On for those who have those spots, the mental spots.
Mm-hmm.
You can hit me up. The other day I did the pilot. I was not ready. I was exhausted and I just sat down and hubby videoed it and just posted it. And many people have gotten a few that have said, you were so real. No makeup. No, I was like, I can't even wear makeup. It's a long story. What? No makeup. No, I was oily. Skin was oily. It's just a lot of stuff. And I just told them, I've had cancer and I have these spots on my body and it's also created these spots in my mind. And I think 3 days ago was when I got up and I heard, good morning, worthless one. And I countered with, I'm not the worthless one. You are the worthless one. And that's when hubby.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Hubby, said, good for you.
Go back to where you came from. I don't want you here.
Yeah.
I think what you're doing is fantastic. I mean, I always look at things like that. If you can inspire one person, it's worth it. But I think you're going to inspire a hell of a lot more than one person.
Thank you.
And I think, Darren and I both come from families that have been touched by cancer, and we've lost people that we love to cancer. And it's really difficult to go through. And I remember the first time we dealt with it, the loneliness.
Yes.
And the feeling of not knowing where to turn to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you're giving people a place.
Yes.
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And that's what I just wanted to say earlier when you saw me looking through the window. It's the small things I take. I love to look at the cars going by. I like to see the exhaust. I know people will say, okay, that's weird. But it's the things that you may take for granted. Being in traffic. I love being in traffic. I don't want to be alone.
See, I was with you on exhaust and cars until you said traffic. I like to lay into that throttle and hear that exhaust.
But you drive a truck.
Well, you just said that. Okay, you said you like to be in traffic because it makes you feel like you're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so now. But at the same time, I'm nervous because then I'm saying, I wonder if they saw the spot on my neck. I wonder if they saw the spot on my arm. I wonder if they could see the, where I got it lanced. I wonder if they saw that mark.
Oh, who gives a crap? I know. But
that's how, yeah.
You're dynamite, so.
Thank you.
Well, I hope Vivia's story has been really, really inspiring to you. The reason why we wanted to do this episode is because, as entrepreneurs, there's a few things that I think are really important. Number one is you have to keep life in perspective.
Yes.
When people that start businesses, and this because you started a nonprofit, Darren and I have started businesses, you can get really, really wrapped up in it because it takes so much out of you to do it. And it's important to whether it's a good day or a bad day, no matter if you've worked a 12-hour day, whatever it is, you got to keep things into perspective.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to have you on is that I have found with entrepreneurs, and we've talked to a lot of them on the show. Darren and I know quite a few. We are entrepreneurs. There is no better way to get kicked in the teeth and have really bad days than to start a business.
Right.
I mean, it is thankless and it can be really, really challenging. And, you got to hear a story like Vivia's and think, you know what? If she can deal with 4 cancer diagnoses, if she can hear she's got 2 weeks to live, multiple occasions, and keep fighting, she has been forged in fire.
And then help others and start a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And I mean, not just help, but also counsel. Yeah, that's a lot more to.
Yeah.
So you hear something like that, and I want you to think back to this story the next time you have a bad day. The next time you lose that deal or something happens and your cash flow looks like crap for the next quarter and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Just remember, you could be given 2 weeks to live for the second, third, or fourth time. And you just keep coming back. So, this is really meant to be a story of inspiration to help people understand that, no matter what you think you can or can't do, you are capable of so much more.
Yes.
And I think you've probably proven that to yourself and to people around you that, you're not a dainty little flower. You are tougher than nails.
You ain't no slouch.
If there's anybody that's going to sit in Mr. Winnie's seat, it's her.
Yep.
She is tough enough to do that. So in closing, I mean, is there anything you'd like to leave our listeners with that would inspire them?
Do not take your life for granted. Don't take your meetings for granted. You meet someone. Don't take that interaction in the grocery store for granted. The simple things that we blow up over, we need to really step back and say, is it that serious? Is it really important for me to give that all my energy? And cherish every solitary moment. Every moment.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you know what? This has been fascinating. I have purposely withheld myself from asking you too many questions about your story because I wanted to hear it on the show. I wanted to hear it real time. And I am literally blown away. This has just been awesome. So Darren, it's pretty wild. Yeah. So we really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
I am sure you have touched many thousands of listeners today. And we just can't thank you enough. And you know what? Keep fighting because we like having you around.
Thanks, guys.
So that little shitty voice in your head, next time he comes around, yes. Tell him that Beer and Business Podcast said he can go himself. Okay.
I'll just take a recording of that.
Definitely do that.
Yes.
Oh man, well,
guys,
love
having you on the show.
Yeah, this has been awesome. Guys, thanks for tuning in today. I really hope this has been awesome for you. We want to remind you. We love to hear from you. We want to answer your questions. Yesterday, we did a episode of Questionable Answers. When we do Q&A, Vivia, it's not questions and answers, it's questionable answers. Because, look at the yahoos that are going to answer them, right?
Questionable answer. Where's my next beer?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
There, you can bartend, Darren. Get us a beer. But we'd love to answer your questions. So send them in. If you have questions about, starting a business, running a business, podcasting, what kind of beers Mr. Winnie likes, we don't care. Just send them in. If we think your question's good enough, we'll answer it. Mm-hmm. We love to interact with you guys. So you can email those questions to podcast@beer.business, or you can just hit us up on the socials. We're on, what are we on? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
All of them.
Yeah, all the stuff. You can private message us.
Someday Jake will put the IG icon on the website.
Yeah.
Finally.
Thank you for that, Darren.
It's inspiration. That's what that was. I'm inspiring you to do that.
I'm trying to pour a beer without spilling.
Oh, here he goes. He screwed up earlier. Tell him, Vivia, you were a witness. He poured his beer. He was so proud. He's like, I didn't spill it. I didn't do anything.
And then he poured your beer.
And he poured mine.
And it was
all over the table.
All over the table.
It's really, folks, we joke about it all the time. It's not a joke. I really can't pour frickin' beer. It's just embarrassing. But we're getting ready to drink a mug shot IPA, which is one that you can buy in the stores if you're in the Atlanta area. So if you're, bottle shop or, your grocery store doesn't carry Jailhouse Brewing Mugshot IPA, just go throat punch them and tell them to get it in stock because it's really good. It's a delicious, hoppy, very crisp IPA. So, Darren, shall we?
To Vivia.
Oh, gosh, you hurt my tummy.
To Vivia. Speaking of Jailhouse Brewing, you guys should go out to the brewery. It's in Hampton, Georgia. Yeah. Just go out there and have a drink. It's a great place. Super awesome tap room. The crew there is great. I love everybody that works there. They've got an event coming up that you have to come to on November 2nd. Do you like chili? Do Jamaicans eat chili? Come on.
Yeah, Of
course. The answer is always yes. It's chili.
It's going to be
so
40.
Yeah, there's going to be. So on November 2nd at Jailhouse Brewing, there is a chili cook-off. And there's like 40 teams competing.
Are you going to be on the team?
I was last year, but I'm not this year. I can't because I've got an event that morning, so I can't compete. But I will tell you, really, really good chili, excellent beer. They have music. They shut down all of Cherry Street for this. It's massive. Okay. So you should definitely come. It's November the 2nd, Saturday, starts at noon, goes till 10 o'clock or, whenever the party dies down It is a load of fun. So put it on your calendar. Don't be a knucklehead. Come out and eat chili until you feel like you're going to burst and drink some beers. Right?
Sounds like a great day to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we're coming to you, live from the Beer and Business studio at Launch and Go Workspace. This is the official headquarters of the Beer and Business podcast, Vivia. See, we have blinking lights and knobs and stuff. This is high tech, isn't it?
I see.
This is state-of-the-art stuff. I mean, this is like NASA technology. Except without NASA.
Not yet.
Yeah. And, we want to remind you, if you're in the Atlanta area and you're looking to start a podcast or record a podcast, or even if you're going to be interviewing on somebody else's podcast, you can actually rent this studio. We have several options for you, everything from just coming in and plugging your computer into the mixer and just using the space to fully managed post-production. We are pretty good at this.
Some of us are a lot better at it than others. So
yeah, our guests are much better than we are at it. But anyways, yes. So don't forget, go to launchandgoworkspace.com and you can find out information about renting the studio, or you can just reach out to us again, podcast@beer.business, or, just throw something at Darren when you see him in public, whatever.
That'll work.
And you got some events coming up, right?
Yeah, we actually have a couple of them coming up. So what do we have? On Tuesday, October 22nd from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Startup Fayette.
I'm sorry.
If you are thinking about starting a business or started a business within a couple of years, come and join us. It's a free event. And
how many dollars was that?
$3.
$3. Oh, that's really affordable. Yeah.
$3. You might even recognize the person we're going to have. The topic this month is going to be about human resources. At what point with your small business, what are the things you should look for or need to do or be concerned about when you finally have employees?
Excellent.
So
that should be fascinating.
Yeah.
It could be.
What is it? Next week, Tuesday?
That's Tuesday. Yep. Tuesday. And then the following Tuesday, I'm leading out there on October 29th at 6:30. Crane Chiropractic is going to be doing a workshop about how to end your headaches naturally. And that doesn't mean just get up each day and manage it by taking a pill. So every month they have a workshop on something, and it's always really informative. So
I think I should go to that. I get a lot of headaches.
There you go.
Most of them are small business related, but but I do have a lot of headaches.
So that's it for that part. And now on to the next bit.
Yeah, which is yours, Darren, but clearly you're not looking at the notes. So would you like me to take over?
I was waiting for the lead-in. Anyway, we all know that if you haven't listened to this podcast
with this guy, Vivi. I mean, can you believe this?
I love it.
We always try. We are securely hosted by Overwatch Technology.
Do you like Putin from Russia?
No.
Nobody does. He's a jerk. You know what he's trying to get in your computer? Get all your stuff and then sell it on the black market. Yeah, he's a nutcase. So we got to keep him out of our computers.
Yes. And the way we do that is by using Overwatch technology to protect your computers, residential and commercial, for your business. And the tech tip this month is install security software updates and back up your files. Okay. Where a lot of vulnerabilities come in, we've seen this before.
So hold on, Darren. Yes. I'm going to back you up.
Beep, beep.
So if you have security software on your computer, it needs to be updated?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Why?
Why? Because there's new stuff all the time. People find ways to get around that. So you know what? You lock your front door, they're going to try to come around and get in your back door. And so that's kind of how you treat a computer. It's like your house. You don't want anybody to get in. But you may have old technology. You might have old door locks. And so they found a better way to pick the locks on your door. Now they're in your whole computer network.
Yeah, I was being facetious, clearly. But, how else are
Vivia
these?
is listening very intently
No, I know.
right now.
But computer viruses and malware and ransomware strategies, they change all the time. And the only way that your software knows to keep up with those things is because of the updates it does in the background. So yes, please keep your stuff updated, people.
Yeah. So Overwatch will do that.
Overwatch will do that. So
if you just don't want to worry about it, like just let them manage the whole thing, right?
That's it. Just go to overwatch.technology. You can call them or email them or click a button. I believe they have something if you want a free assessment for your business.
They don't do Morse code or telegrams anymore, do they? They're a tech company, right?
They're tech.
Right. So yeah, you probably want to stick to the interwebs.
That's a good thing. So we thank Overwatch for protecting beer and business.
Yeah, if you download our stuff, you don't have to worry about, gremlins and Putin getting in, It's awesome. Well, guys, we're going to close with some words of wisdom. It's kind of hard to top Vivia, but I want to expand on something that she said. She said to cherish every minute. And the thing that's really challenging in today's world, and I hear this from everybody, is that there's never enough time. We're all busy. We all have a bunch of stuff going on. But it's especially hard for entrepreneurs because we have, it seems like, more work and we have to work twice as hard. And I speak from experience to get success like you would having a job. So you're working hard. And when you're down, when you have that downtime, you're always thinking about what else can I do to grow my business, to secure my family. So you're always haunted by this overwhelming desire to do stuff. And the thing that I want to share with people today is you have to make the time. And this has been one of the hardest things for me over the past year because this is the first time that I've been out on my own owning a business with kids. And I've talked to a lot of people about this. I've talked to friends and mentors about it. I'm in a discipleship group in my church and we've talked about this. The one thing that I've done is I have found pockets of time. If I'm at home and it's an afternoon and I've got a meeting in 45 minutes, but I've got nothing to do, I'll try to take 20 or 30 minutes and just spend a little bit of time with my 3-year-old. Just grab that time, just grab that 30 minutes. And that 30 minutes could be the best 30 minutes of his day and mine. But don't let those opportunities get away. When you notice there's an opportunity to be with somebody you love or to make a call to somebody you care about, just do it. Find the time, work it in, and actively think about it every single day. You're not going to get any less busy. If you're waiting for things to calm down, it's not going to calm down. If you're waiting for that time, it's not going to come. So when you get that little window, even if it's 10 minutes, take it. Because, poor Vivia here has been trying to live in 24-hour cycles and getting 3 hours of sleep. And that's a tough way to live, isn't it? Yeah. But she's taken advantage of the time that she's got, and you should do the same. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. And we always want to remind you to drink responsibly. Darren is actually quite sober right now, but that'll probably change, and we'll put him in a taxi. So we'll see you next week.